Land of Waves. What do you mean we have to mow someone's yard? Demanded Naruto. The third and Kakashi could just keep in their laugh. I think he means that we have to get a lawnmower and mow the lawn, said Sasuke, and looking at Naruto reacts he laughed. But why do we have to mow a lawn to begin with? Asked Naruto. Well, seeing how you have just become shinobi, you will not begin with shinobi battles, but with chores until you are ready for a real mission, said Kakashi. Oh fine, but when will we get a cool mission? Asked Naruto. When I decide so, said Kakashi. They had just finished mowing the lawn. Or you could say the Jinin had just finished mowing the lawn. Kakashi said, you seem to already be able to work as a team fairly well, so I will now teach you chakra control. Like what? Asked Sakura. Like walking on trees, said Kakashi as he did just that. On Saruka's first try, she easily mastered it on her first try. Kakashi said, well, I did not expect that, but let's move on to water walking. Kakashi then showed them how to water walk and explained how to do it. XXX. No. I am sick of doing boring D rank mission. Can we do a C rank one? Said Naruto. Well, what do you think, Kakashi? Do you think they can take a C rank? Asked the Hokage. Yes, I believe so, said Kakashi. Well, we have a C rank mission that I think would be good for your team, said the Hokage. Well, what is the mission? Asked Kakashi. You have to keep a bridge builder safe, said the Hokage. Well, I think that is a safe mission for them, I agree, said Kakashi. Very well, here is the man who hired us to do it, meet Tazuna, said the third. These little brats are supposed to keep me safe, said the dunk Tazuna as he went to take a sip from his bottle. Naruto did some hand seal and said, Blade of Wind, as Tazuna bottle was cut in half. Naruto, you do not attack the client, said Kakashi. I wasn't attacking him, I was showing him what I could do if I wanted to attack him. He would be dead, said Naruto. Stop trying to act cool like Sasuke, said Sakura. Meet at the East Gate the next day at 8 sharp, said Kakashi as he left. XXX. Naruto met up with Sakura, Sasuke, Tazuna, and Kakashi at the East Gate full of hope because this was his first time outside of the village. Good you arrived, Naruto, now we can get on our way, said Kakashi. Why are you so later? Demanded Sakura. What do you mean I am right on time, Sakura? It is 8 on the dot, said Naruto. Don't make up reason, Naruto, yelled Sakura. Sakura, leave him alone, said Sasuke. Of course, said Sakura. Does she really have to go on this mission? Asked Tazuna. I am afraid so, said Naruto before Kakashi could say anything. What that's supposed to mean? Yelled Sakura. What it means, said Sasuke, which got Naruto laughing. Come on, let's get a move on team before noon, said Kakashi with a little smile under his mask, because he could see this team was going to work out fine. Why? Because he knows that once they begin to tease each other, they have become friends. XXX. Naruto was really starting to get bored. This might have been his first time outside of the village, and he was happy in the beginning, but it was just trees, and that soon started getting boring. He starts talking to Sasuke, which makes him happy, because before Sakura was the only person he could talk to. While they were talking, Naruto saw a puddle which surprised him, because they had not seen a puddle in all the miles they had walked so far. He points it out to Sasuke, who told him to get on guard, which he agrees with. A few minutes later, the demon bothers jumped out of the puddle and caught Kakashi in their chain and pulled, slicing him in half. Naruto and Sasuke, seeing that, had a small bit of disbelief, but then charged the demon bothers. Naruto did some hand seals and said, Shadow Clone Jutsu, as 50 clones appeared. Sasuke tried to punch one of the demon bothers, but they dodged and aimed a kick at Sasuke's face. That was just what Sasuke and Naruto wanted, as one of Naruto clones punched the man in the face and then hit 4 of his chakra points. The other demon brother was trying to fight off Naruto and his clones, but he was failing and had 13 of his chakra points closed. The demon bother Sasuke was fighting and rushed at Tazuna, but Kakashi jumped out of a nearby tree and grabbed him and then knocked him unconscious. Naruto, with the help of Sasuke, soon ended his fight with the other demon brother. So, Tazuna, would you care to explain? Said Kakashi. Explain what? Asked Sakura. And why did you make us think you were killed? I wanted to see what they were here for, us or Tazuna, said Kakashi. But the real question is why they are attacking Tazuna, said Naruto. Yeah, said Sasuke. Well, do you know who Gato? Said Tazuna. Of course, who hasn't heard of him? Asked Naruto and Sasuke. Well, Gato uses the shipping company as a front for being a drug dealer, and about a year ago he took over the wave, making life there awful, and our only hope is the bridge, so please you can't leave me, or I will die and the bridge will never be finished, said Tazuna. I wouldn't leave until the bridge is done, said Naruto. And I won't leave Naruto to do it all on his own. We know he would just fail, said Sasuke. And I won't leave Sasuke with just Naruto, said Sakura. Well, it would appear that I have to stay to help my team, said Kakashi. Triple X, is this a normal amount of mist? Asked Naruto because he could only see like 45 feet ahead of him. Yeah, said Tazuna, who was worried because by now he had learned that Naruto had good judgment about when an attack would come. Naruto and Sasuke heard a noise and threw a shuriken at where they heard the noise. Sakura rushed over there only to see a bunny and said, Naruto, look at what you did. You nearly killed this poor bunny. But then Kakashi said, get on the ground. Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura drove onto the ground as they heard something go right over their head and then heard something land in a nearby tree. When Naruto looked up, he heard Kakashi say, the demon of the hidden mist Zabuza Momochi. Kakashi Hitaki of the Sharingan, said Zabuza as Kakashi revealed his Sharingan and said, I won't let you kill the bridge builder or my team, so let's begin. Zabuza versus Team 7. Time to train harder. Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura guard the bridge builder, said Kakashi. Why don't you let the little ones play too, said Zabuza. Because we would beat you up in a matter of seconds, said Naruto. Naruto knew who Zabuza was, but he hoped that Kakashi would be stronger. Brat, don't speak to your betters like that, said Zabuza as he used his killing intent on them. Saruka was shaking in fear, but Naruto and Sasuke were both standing calm, ready for a fight. Oh, it would appear that the brats have some skill. They can stand up even with my killing intent, said Zabuza. That's because yours weak compared to my godfather who uses it whenever I break the rules, said Naruto. Oh, and who is that godfather of yours? Asked Zabuza. Jiraiya, Naruto said. Zabuza jumped out of the tree with his blade in hand and tried to kill Naruto only for him to dodge. Kakashi attacked Zabuza, forcing him to dodge out of the way. Zabuza did some hand seals and said, hiding in mist technique, as a much thicker mist appeared and surrounded them. Naruto did some hand seals and said, shadow clone jutsu, as 200 clones appear. Zabuza was both shocked and now starting to get worried. Naruto, I told you to stay out of the fight, said Kakashi. Sorry, sensei, said Naruto. Kakashi and Zabuza then began their battle. Zabuza and Kakashi created a water clone and had them battle. Kakashi water clone killed Zabuza clone, but Zabuza then easily dealt with Kakashi. Zabuza then rushed at the bridge builder, but Kakashi stopped him midway. Zabuza tried to stab Kakashi, but he jumped back and did some hand seals and said, fire release, great fireball technique. Zabuza easily dodged the attack and forced Kakashi back again. Zabuza kept up his attacks and still Kakashi was on the water. Zabuza did some hand seals and said, water prison technique, and trapped Kakashi. Sasuke said, looks like it is up to us now, Naruto, as he turned on his Sharingan. Yeah, said Naruto. Naruto did some hand seals and said, wind release, great breakthrough, blowing away the mist. Zabuza created a water clone to deal with Naruto and Sasuke. Naruto and all of his clones did some hand seals and said, wind release, vacuum great sphere, trying to kill Zabuza water clone. His clone tried to dodge, but there were too many attacks, so he killed the clone. Zabuza was surprised at how easily he took down his clone and decided to fight for real now. Zabuza created another clone who rushed at Naruto before he could do anything. Sasuke did some hand seals and said, fire release, fireball technique, as a ball of fire hit the clone. Sasuke said, Naruto, you need to take off the weights. You think I can't see that, Sasuke, said Naruto as he took off the weights. Naruto had all of his clones rush at Zabuza before he could make another clone. Should we use the attack? Asked Naruto. Do you have any better ideas? Asked Sasuke. No, said Naruto. Naruto and Sasuke did some hand seals and Sasuke yelled out, fire release, fireball technique, and Naruto yelled out, wind release, gale palm, speeding up the fireball. Zabuza had to jump out of the way or die, and of course he jumped. Naruto and Atlas launched at Zabuza as Naruto said, Fong passing Fong. They managed to land a direct hit on him as Kakashi rushed at him. Kakashi kicked Zabuza in the head, then did a string of attacks and ended it with a knee to the chest as Zabuza tried to get back to land. When a Hunter Nin appeared and threw a Senbon in his neck. May I cheek? Asked Kakashi. The Hunter Nin just nodded his head to say yes. Kakashi walked over and felt no pus in Zabuza's neck. As Kakashi walked away, the Hunter Nin grabbed Zabuza's body and jumped away. My house is not too far away, said a still in fear Tazuna. Triple X. Tsunami, I am home, said Tazuna as they arrived at his house. Oh, Thank goodness, I thought that you might have been killed by Gato men, said Tsunami. That's not because of lack of trying, but these ninjas kept me safe and sound, said Tazuna. How can we ever thank you for protecting my father? Asked Tsunami. Let us stay at your house while we keep on keeping him safe, said Kakashi. Of course, that is the least we can do, said Tsunami. Thank you, said Naruto and Sasuke and Sakura. Oh, don't worry about it, said a smiling Tsunami. Oh, where is Inari? Shouldn't he be here to greet our guests? Asked Tazuna. Oh, he should be here soon. After all, it is nearly time for dinner, said Tsunami. Don't forget to set a place for our guests, said Tazuna. Oh, I nearly forgot, said Tsunami. It was during their dinner, and Naruto said, This is a great meal, Tsunami. Thank you, said Tsunami. Oh, my team, we need to talk about something after this meal, said Kakashi. After dinner, Kakashi said, I think Zabuza is still alive. What, but you cheeked his heart? Beat yourself, sensei, said a now worried Sakura. Yes, but a hunter need know a ton about the human body and could easily put someone in a death-like state, said Kakashi. But that is not info for you to come up with that, said Naruto. You are right, Naruto, but a real hunter Nin would have got to work right then and there. But he took the body elsewhere, said Kakashi. How long until we have to fight Zabuza again? Asked Sasuke. My guess is about a 2-week, said Kakashi. How can we get strong enough to fight him in a 2-week, sensei, if even you were beat by him? Asked a very scared Sakura. Are you scared? Naruto asked Sakura. You wish I bet Sasuke could beat him on his own, said Sakura. No way, he is stronger than me, said Sasuke. Well, I plan on helping to make you all strong enough to at least fight the hunter Nin while I deal with Zabuza, said Kakashi. How? Asked Naruto. Just meet me here at 6 in the morning, said Kakashi. Okay, Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura said. XXX. The next day, Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura were in place at 6 sharp, and Kakashi came soon after that. All right, I will work on your speed. If you can move faster than your opponent, then you will usually win, said Kakashi as he made 2 shadow clones. Sasuke has the clone on the right, and Sakura, you have the clone on the left, said Kakashi. How come Naruto gets the real you? Shouldn't Sasuke get the real you? Declared Sakura. No, Naruto is faster than Sasuke, so he might land a hit on my clone and get rid of it, but this way it doesn't matter if he does, said Kakashi. But Sasuke is way faster than Naruto, look, said Sakura as she tried and punched him. Naruto grabbed her fist and stopped her punch and said, Stop trying to punch me, you wouldn't land a blow, said Naruto. Here, you know what, Saruka, if you can land a hit on my clone, I will train Sasuke, said Kakashi, pleased at how things were going, because in the beginning he didn't know how he would get Sakura to try, but she provided him with answer. XXX. Naruto threw another punch at Kakashi, but he easily dodged and kneed him in the chest for failing to hit him again. Naruto started to do some hand seals, but Kakashi grabbed his hands and said, No clones, Naruto. Naruto just smiled and kneed Kakashi in the chest. Naruto said, You fell right into my trap. But Kakashi appeared right in front of him and did a string of attacks, and then punched him in the face. Good trap, Naruto, but never let your guard down, said Kakashi. Now take off your weights and fight for real, said Kakashi. Naruto did just that and rushed at Kakashi at faster speeds. Kakashi smiled and blocked Naruto's attack and began the fight. XXX. Sasuke pushed himself off the ground again after Kakashi clone tripped him again. He rushed at the clone and tried to punch it. It dodged, but Sasuke, who had wanted that, then tried to kick it in the ribs. The clone grabbed his leg and threw him to the ground again. Active your Sharingan, or you will never land a blow, said the clone. Sasuke. Active his Sharingan, rushed at the clone again, but seeing the kick incoming, he jumped over it and tried to punch the clone, but he blocked again. Now let fight for real, said the clone as he rushed at Sasuke at full speed. XXX. Sakura was starting to get really mad when she was on the ground again for the 8th time. She got up and rushed at the clone again, but much faster. The clone saw that and said, Are you using Churka to speed yourself up? Sakura said, No, I am just really mad at you. But Sakura then started channeling Churka to her legs, which made Kakashi try, or the clone would be killed. Kakashi dodges one of Sakura's attacks again, and then punches her in the face, and then kneed her in the chest, forcing her to the ground. Every time you fail, I will attack, said the clone. Sakura tried to punch the clone again, but he dodged, but she kept up the attacks, forcing him to keep on dodge. XXX. They had been training for the whole week now, and Sakura was way faster. Naruto had gotten a bit faster like Sasuke. Inari said during their dinner, Why do you all train so hard? There are no heroes, and the weaker will always fall to the strong. You don't know what our life is like. We are mistreated and poor. Just give up. Naruto yelled out. I know what that is like. You have a loving family that cares for you. I had no one but Jiraiya, and when he went away on mission, the village would attack me, make fun of me, treat me badly. I know what it is like. You don't. And we train so we can become strong, you brat. Naruto then ran out of the house in tears by what Inari said. Sakura also wanted to cry because she didn't know Naruto had it so badly. Sasuke and Kakashi knew how Naruto life was, and they just had sad face. They had cried before about his life. Sasuke, go find Naruto. I will deal with Inari, said Kakashi. Inari then got very scared because he didn't know what Kakashi would do to him. Kakashi told Inari about Naruto life in the village, which made both him and Sakura cried. Sasuke was looking for Naruto when he heard him say, dumb brat. Sasuke said, Naruto, if you want to take your anger out on someone, I shall bring you to a spar. Naruto said, begin. Naruto rushed at Sasuke with such speed that he could not do anything. Naruto punched him in the chest, then kicked him in the ribs and did an uppercut. Sasuke tried to punch Naruto, but he dodged. Naruto then took off his weight and rushed at Sasuke so fast that he could not activate his Sharingan in time. Naruto carried out a string of attacks and then hit 16 of his chakra points, making him pass out. Kakashi, after he finished with Inari, went to go help Sasuke deal with Naruto, but he found the out Sasuke and no signs of Naruto. Naruto ran at the nearby tree and channeled chakra to his fist as he hit it, causing the tree to fall over. Naruto then repeats that and still he passed out. XXX. Naruto woke up the next day where he fell and saw that he was surrounded by flowers. Naruto then got up and saw a girl. Who are you? Asked Naruto. Oh, my name is Haku, said Haku. What are you doing here? Asked Naruto. Oh, I am out here gathering herbs for a sick friend of mine, said Haku. Oh well, what herbs do you need? I can help you with it if you want, said Naruto. Thank you, I need those herbs, Haku said as she pointed at one of them. Naruto made 5 shadow clones to help. During the task, Haku decides to make small talk and said, tell me, where do you think true power comes from? I think it comes from those that are precious to you and the will to do anything to keep them safe, said Naruto. It is good you know the source of true strength, unlike so many others, said Haku sadly. They then spent the rest of the time they were gathering herbs and small talk, and still Haku started to leave. Oh, by the way, Naruto, I am a boy, said Haku as he left. Naruto was stunned. He really thought he was a girl. XXX. When Naruto got back to the house, he saw Inari waiting for him. Inari said, please forgive me, Naruto. I did not know how bad your life was, and still after I said what I said. Don't worry about it. I shouldn't have reacted the way I did, said Naruto. No, you had every right to do that, said Inari. No, I didn't, but where is Sasuke? I want to make sure he is okay after what I did to him. I am right here, Naruto. Your fighting skills might be better, but it seemed like it came at a cost, said a laughing Sasuke. So, you are all right? Asked Naruto. Of course. Oh, and Kakashi said it is your turn to watch over Tazuna, said Sasuke. Great, said Naruto as he left to head to the bridge. Inari and the Battle of the Bridge. When Naruto returned from the bridge with Tazuna, he went back to training. But while he was doing that, Inari was trying to watch Naruto train without him knowing, but of course Naruto soon saw him. Naruto said, Inari, I see you, but why are you here? Your words stuck with me, and I now want to become ninja like you, said Inari. Well, you could have just asked, said Naruto. Oh, I didn't think of that, said Inari, but can I train with you? No, said Naruto. What? Yelled Inari. Why? Because what I am doing takes skills that you do not have, said Naruto. Oh, said a saddened Inari as he started to walk away. Hold on, I said you couldn't train with me, but I didn't say I wouldn't help train you, said Naruto. Really? Asked a very excited Inari. Of course, but first I have to give you a test, said Naruto. I don't care, let's take the test, yelled out an excited Inari. Naruto just smiled. Good, follow me, said Naruto as he started running. Inari ran after Naruto. They had been running for an hour when Inari fell to his knees because he just couldn't run anymore. Did I do bad? Asked Inari. No, you did way better than I thought you would do, said Naruto. But what was the point of that? Asked Inari. The point was for me to test your stamina, said Naruto. Yeah, I have always been told I have too much energy, said a tried Inari. Well, you might, but people say the same thing about me, said Naruto. After Inari caught his breath, he asked, what are we going to do now? Well, have you ever wanted to walk up a tree? Asked Naruto. Of course, who doesn't, said Inari. Good, because that is what I am going to teach you how to do just that, said Naruto. XXX. Inari could not wait for dinner. Although he had fun training falling down a tree, when you're 40 feet in the air is not fun. Thankfully, he had Naruto, who always caught him before he hit the ground. But he soon came up with a much better way of learning it. He would lay down at the base of the tree and try to walk up it, and he could only do that once he had learned how much churka he should use. Tsunami, seeing how sweaty Inari was but seeing the big smile on his face, she asked, "What have you been doing today?" "Walking on trees," said Inari. "No, Inari, what have you really been doing?" asked Tsunami. "He wasn't lying, I was teaching him how to tree walk," said Naruto. Kakashi smiled and said, "Have you really gotten that good already, Naruto, that you don't need me anymore, and you have your own students?" "No, but I know how to tree walk pretty well, so I decided to teach him that." "Tomorrow is your turn, Kakashi," said a smiling Naruto as Kakashi's smile disappeared. "Well, how did it go?" asked Tsunami. "Very good, I would say, seeing how he can already walk up trees with ease," said Naruto. "Now that's my boy Inari, I knew you wouldn't stay sad forever," said Tazuna. Inari blushed at how much attention he was getting. "Well, Naruto, I will be too busy with Sasuke and Sakura tomorrow, so you better make a clone because it is your turn to go to the bridge," said Kakashi. "Can you at least check in on him sometimes?" asked Naruto. "Of course," said Kakashi. "Hey, does that mean I get the real you?" asked Sasuke. "Yes, of course," said Kakashi. Triple X. They kept on taking turns watching Tazuna as he built his bridge. At the end of the second week, Naruto was training Inari, but he stayed up so much later than he thought he would and slept even when his team went to the bridge. Inari was eating breakfast when he heard their door break. Inari went to see what caused the door to break, but then he heard his mother scream. Inari, thinking that they might be under attack, he channels churka to his fist so he could hit harder, which he learned yesterday, and was now very glad he did now. Inari ran over to where he heard his mother scream. He saw two men. He rushed at one of them with his churka fist and landed a punch right on the man's chest. The man said, "Kid, you might punch hard, but give up now or your mom dies," as he moved his sword to Tsunami's throat. Inari looked like he was about to give up when he yelled out, "Naruto, help." The man looked at Inari and said, "Now what the hell was the point of that? Just give up or you will lose your mommy." Inari knew he had no choice, so he said, "Fine, I give up." Naruto heard the scream and thought that it might be some of Gato men. Naruto climbed out the window in his bedroom and made his way to the front door. Naruto then, seeing the two men, he made two shadow clone right in front of them. As they were dealing with them, Naruto got behind them and yelled out, 32 palms. Before they could react, they both had 32 of their churka points closed, and they were unable to deal with the pain and passed out. "Naruto, thank you for saving us," said Inari. "Don't worry about Inari, but it is a shame that such fine blades are wasted on these people," said Naruto as he picked up one of their blades. Naruto then gave the blade to Inari and said, "Gather up the villages and head to the bridge. There will be a battle there, and we might need their help." "I am on it, sir," said Inari. "No need to call me sir," said Naruto. "Oh, and don't forget the scabbard," said Naruto as he handed it to him. "Thank you," said Inari as he grabbed it and took off to get to work. When Naruto arrived at the bridge, he saw it was covered with mist. Naruto decides to do something about it and did some hand seals and said, "Wind release, great breakthrough," letting out a huge burst of wind which got rid of the mist. "Naruto, took you long enough to arrive," said a now smiling Sasuke. "Sorry it took so long, it is just that Inari needs to get better at who he picks his fights with," said Naruto. "Stop your small talk and get ready for a fight," said an also now smiling Kakashi. "Do you really think one little brat will change the course of the fight?" said Zabuza. "Well, does this answer your question?" said Naruto as he did some hand seals and threw a shuriken. He then yelled out, "Shadow Shuriken technique," and the one shuriken turned into 100. Zabuza did some hand seals and said, "Earth release, Earth-style wall," as a wall of earth blocked Naruto attack. Kakashi said, "Naruto helps Sasuke with his operant." "On it," said Naruto. Naruto ran over to where Sasuke was and saw that they were fighting the Hunter Nin. "So Kakashi was right," said Naruto. "What did you expect, Naruto?" said Sasuke. "Where is Sakura?" asked Naruto. "She is guarding Tazuna," said Sasuke. "Well, I will help her with that," said Naruto as he made 10 clones to help Sakura. "Time to begin the fight," said the Hunter Nin. The Hunter Nin rushed at Sasuke, but one of Naruto's clones appeared behind him. The clone that appeared behind the Hunter Nin yelled out, 32 palms. The Hunter Nin, hearing that, tried to dodge, but the first 16 palms landed. The Hunter Nin then tried to get back in a fight stance, but Sasuke finished what he was doing and yelled out, fire release, fireball technique. The hunter Nin tried to dodge the attack, but Naruto made 3 clones hold him in place. When the smoke cleared, they could see that the hunter Nin had some minor burns and 1 major burn, and some of his clothes were burnt. The hunter Nin said, "I wanted to use this later, but I guess I have to use it now." The hunter Nin did some hand seals and said, "Demonic mirroring ice crystals. Your brats are going to die, Kakashi. He has even greater skill than I," said Zabuza. But my team will pull though," said Kakashi. Naruto and Sasuke were trying to take cover from another round of Senbon. Naruto said, "Sasuke, use your Sharingan, then you can track him, and I can use my clones." "Good idea," said Sasuke as he activated his Sharingan. The hunter Nin went to attack them again using the ice mirrors, but Sasuke followed him and was able to keep up by channeling Churka to his legs. Naruto tossed Sasuke a kunai. Sasuke threw the kunai at the hunter Nin, but he just caught it and threw it at Naruto. Naruto tried to, but the kunai hit him in his chest. Sasuke, seeing that, awoke his second Tomo in his Sharingan. "Naruto, don't worry about it. I am already healing you," said Kurama. "Thanks," said Naruto. Naruto got up and saw Sasuke still chasing after the hunter Nin, but when Sasuke saw that Naruto was fine, he let his guard down and the hunter Nin stabbed him with 4 kunai. Naruto, seeing that, said, "Kurama gives me your Churka," to which he happily replied with, "Of course." The hunter Nin, hearing that, looked at Naruto and saw he was covered in a weird red Churka. Naruto rushed at the hunter Nin at speeds he thought were impossible. Naruto let loose a string of attacks at the hunter Nin with extreme power behind them. Zabuza looked at Naruto in a bit of fear. Zabuza said, "How is that brat doing that?" "Tell me what the hunter Nin did first," said Kakashi. "He has the ice release," said Zabuza. "Mine has the 9 tails," said Kakashi. Zabuza, hearing that, looked at Naruto again in fear. Naruto finishes his string of attacks with a punch to the hunter Nin face mask, revealing Haku. Naruto made Kurama stop, giving him his Churka. "What, how?" asked Naruto. "I was always the hunter Nin," said Haku. "But why?" asked Naruto. "To help that who was precious to me," said Haku. "Wait, do you mean Zabuza?" said Naruto. "Yes, and I ask of you to kill me because I am no longer of use to him," said Haku. "Know what, I could never do that. But I will stop you," said Naruto. Haku looked over at Zabuza and saw that he was being held in place by 8 dogs. He then saw Kakashi's hand covered in lighting as he ran at Zabuza. Haku said, "I have a use once more," as he ran in front of Zabuza to stop Kakashi's attack from killing Zabuza. Naruto, seeing this, did some hand seals and said, "Body flicker technique," as he appeared in front of Haku. Kakashi had a brief vision of what happened to Rin, but when he opened his eyes, he saw that he had hit Naruto long. Naruto was having a hard time breathing, but he manages to say, "Kurama, a bit of help. You only need it because you have gotten to be the dumbest person in the world. You just ran in front of a killing blow," said Kurama as he began healing Naruto. "Naruto, why did you do that for me?" asked Haku. After a moment, Naruto said, "I told you when you asked me where I think true strength comes from," which made Haku cry. Naruto then looked at Zabuza and said, "Why do you not thank him? He was ready to die from you. But you don't care. You are the most precious person in the world to him, but you don't care about him at all." Zabuza started crying and said, "Your words cut deeper than any blade I know, child. Haku, I no longer think of you as just a tool. You are precious to me too, Haku. I think of you as a son I never," which made Haku cry harder. But then Gato arrived, and he said, Yes, this is very heartwarming and whatnot, but I am here to kill you." Zabuza said, "I might be in bad shape, but I will still kill you, Gato," causing Gato to head to the back of his gang of thugs. Naruto said, "I hate to kill, but seeing what this slime ball has done to this place and what he is doing now, I will help you beat the living daylights out of him." "What about you, Haku?" asked Zabuza. "I am with you as always," said Haku, which brought a smile to Zabuza's face. Naruto tossed Zabuza a kunai which he caught in his mouth because Kakashi had his dogs release him. Naruto, Haku, and Zabuza rushed at the gang of thugs, which made Gato run to the back of the thugs. Naruto threw 5 shurikens and did some hand seals and said, "Shadow shuriken technique." The 5 shuriken turned into 500. The thugs tried to dodge it, but many of them had their legs hit by the attack because Naruto didn't want to kill them. Haku threw 10 Senbon, each one hitting one of the thugs in the neck, making them pass out. Zabuza ran forth with the kunai in his mouth, which he used to slice the thugs' legs and arms so they couldn't fight. Naruto made 10 clones, and they each made hand seals, and said, "Blade of Wind." A slice of wind hit 10 of the thugs in their legs, knocking them over. They soon fought their way to Gato, and Naruto did some hand seals and said, "Demonic illusion. Hell. Viewing technique." Gato looked up and saw a world where his company was no more, and he was in hell, causing him to scream out in terror. Zabuza said, "You might think you are in hell, Gato, but I am about to send you there." Zabuza ran at Gato and sliced open his neck. All the thugs had by now gotten back up, but when they looked at Naruto, Zabuza, and Haku, they ran away in fear. The thugs tried to get to the end of the bridge, but they were Inari and all of the villages. Inari said, "You have hurt our town, so now we will hurt you." The thugs didn't know what to do, so they decided to jump off the bridge and get back to their boat. Sakura and Kakashi were checking to see how Sasuke was, but they saw that the kunais did not hit any important place and did little real damage. Naruto ran over to where Sasuke was, and Haku and Zabuza followed him. "What will we do with them?" asked Naruto as he pointed at Zabuza and Haku. "We will take them back to the village and let the Hokage decide what to do," said Kakashi. "Will we heal Zabuza, because I don't think he can travel like that," said Naruto. "Don't worry, I will heal him," said Haku, who had now arrived. "I will not run away or fight you once I am healed," said Zabuza. "Well, I can accept that, Haku. I will allow you to heal him," said Kakashi. "Thank you," said Haku. XXX. They stayed there for 1 more week while Zabuza healed. Kakashi kept on training them. Naruto also kept on training Inari. When they were going to leave, Tsunami said, "Inari, do you want to go with them?" "Well, it is okay with me," said Kakashi. "I think I will," said Inari as he hugged his mom and grandpa for what might be the last time. Naruto said, "Let's get this show started." As they left the land of waves on the Great Naruto Bridge, returned to the village. They had just arrived back at the village. Naruto, Sasuke, and Inari talked to Haku and Zabuza, wanting to learn more about them, while Sakura was trying to get Sasuke to go on a date with her. When they arrived, the 2 gatekeepers, Izumo and Kotetsu, seeing Zabuza, threw kunais at him. Zabuza easily dodged them. They then said, "Kakashi, help us deal with him." "Help you with what? Attacking a member of my party," said Kakashi. "What do you mean?" asked Izumo. "Let's just say our first C rank was way more than it should be," said Kakashi. "What do you mean?" asked Kotetsu. "It would be up to the Hokage to tell you," said Kakashi as he walked into the village with his odd little group. They got many different looks because after all they had the demon of the hidden mist with them. In fact, the third, hearing about this, sent some umbu to keep them safe. When they arrived and the third saw their group, he said, "This will be one long day of paperwork." "Just use shadow clones," said Naruto. The third smiled and said, "For that great idea, boy, you're getting exert pay." Sakura said, "How is that fair if he gets more pay than we all should?" "No, he gave me an idea you did not," said the third. XXX. The third had just finished his questioning of Kakashi, who was the last person of Team 7 he had to talk to, when he asked, "Why did you not just bring your team back to the village, Kakashi?" "Simple, I could have left, but Naruto and Sasuke wanted to stay, which makes Sakura want to stay," said Kakashi. "Yes, but you could have easily with force bring them back to the village, Kakashi," said the third. "Well, that is not what I want to do as a teacher," said Kakashi. "Very well," said the third. XXX. "You may go, Team 7, said the third. "What about Haku, Inari, and Zabuza?" asked Naruto. "Inari and Haku will be staying in my house for the time being," said the third. "But what about Zabuza?" asked Naruto. "Well, seeing how he is a rank wanted man, we will have a Biki Marino interrogation to make sure we can trust him," said the Hokage. "Well, I guess that makes sense," said Naruto as he and his team left. XXX. "I am surprised that we have a mission so soon after our C rank one," said Naruto. "Me too," agreed Sasuke. They then heard the Hokage say, "You may enter now." Naruto and his team entered the Hokage officer. Naruto asked, "Old man, what is our mission today?" The Chunin, who had just gotten a mission from the Hokage, said, "You better treat the Hokage with more respect, or I will forcefully teach it to you, brat." "I would not recommend threatening one of my students when I am so close, Zaji," said Kakashi. "I am sorry, Kakashi, it is just that I wanted to teach this brat his place," said Zaji. Naruto said, "How about I teach you yours?" Zaji got so mad that he rushed right at Naruto. Naruto easily jumped out of the way and got behind him and placed a kunai at his neck. Naruto said. I thought you said you were going to teach me my place, with a smirk on his face. Sasuke, seeing it happen, smiled. Sakura was shocked that Naruto could with ease, it seems, keep up with a Chunin. Kakashi, seeing this, he started to get mad at both Naruto and Zaji. The Hokage said, Naruto, Zaji, that is it. Zaji, get out of here, and Naruto, just stop it. Now then, Hokage, what is our mission? Asked a still smiling Sasuke. Your mission, Sasuke, is to help some people to the village, help them stepped in. You will be giving the budget of 5,000 Ryo to help them, said the Hokage. Wait, who has come to the village anytime soon aside from Haku and Inari, said Naruto. It would appear that you hit the nail on the head. But yes, I want you to buy them clothes and other things they will need, said the Hokage. Very well, me and my team accept this mission, said Kakashi. Very well, please send in Haku and Inari, said the third. But where will they live? I mean, they can't just stay at your house, right? Asked Naruto. Well, I was planning on asking you later, Naruto. But could they stay at your apartment? Asked the third. What, of course, said Naruto. Wait, what do you mean apartment? Demanded Sakura. Well, Sakura, I think they mean a place you pay the owner some money and then you live there, said Kakashi. I know what an apartment is, but why does Naruto have one? Demanded Sakura. Because I am the last remaining member of my clan, so I get the apartments and become the landlord, said Naruto. The clan of what losers? Said a laughing Sakura. No, the Uzumaki clan, said Naruto. Naruto, don't lie, there is no clan in the world named that, said Sakura. Yes, because they are all now dead, but Naruto, said Kakashi. Yeah, right, said a mad Sakura. Well, can we start the mission? Said Sasuke. Of course, me and Haku have been here listening to you for the last 2 minutes, said Inari. Oh, said Naruto. Yeah, said a smiling Haku. To make this mission go faster, I want Naruto and Sasuke to do the shopping with Inari and me, and Sakura will help with the shopping for Haku, said Kakashi. Got it, said the rest of his team. X. So where do you want to go, Inari? Asked Naruto. They had already brought some clothes and food. Oh, since I will become a ninja like you, Naruto, can I go get ninja tools? Asked Inari. Hey, what about me? I am a ninja too, said Sasuke to mess around with Inari. Yeah, but I want to be a cool ninja, not a lame one like you, said Inari, smiling. Sasuke said, if I am a lame ninja, then you are super lame ninja. I am not even a ninja yet, said Inari. Doesn't matter, said a now smiling Sasuke. Oh, come on, we are at a ninja shop, said a smiling Naruto. When they went to try and enter the shop, the owner of it, seeing Naruto, said, Hey, demon brat, you can't come in my shop. What, why can't he? Demanded Inari. Because he is the demon brat, said the shop owner. Don't worry, Inari, I will handle this. You will let him in, or we will find another place to shop, said Sasuke. Then go somewhere else, said the shop owner. As they were walking to another shop, Inari asked, Why did he do that, Naruto? Sasuke said, Remember, you don't have to tell him, Naruto. Naruto said in a grim voice, The 9 tails is sealed into me, so most people in this village hate me. Oh, Kakashi told me about your life and how it was, but I never thought it was for a reason as dumb as that, said Inari, who was trying to hold in his tears. What is so dumb about it? Said Naruto. The fact that they don't try to get to know you and just think you are the 9 tails without a second thought, said Inari. Well, don't worry about it, Inari. Me and some other people did get to know him, and we like him, said Sasuke. Oh, Inari, what was spending the night at the Hokage house like? Asked Naruto. Oh, well, the house is super big, and he has a grandson named Konohamaru who is as old as I am. He has the same dream as you to become Hokage, and he was really surprised when I walked up a tree while we were playing, and he demanded that I teach him how, but I told him I would leave that to you, Naruto, said Inari, who was happy to have his mind taken off about Naruto life. Naruto, it looks like you will have your own team soon. You just need to get one more little kid, said Sasuke, laughing. Well, laugh all you want, Sasuke, but we have arrived, said Naruto. They then went into the store and brought one Inari wanted. As they walked out of the store, Naruto asked, Inari, why did you buy a manual on how to use a sword? Well, I still have the sword from those thugs, and I want to put it to use, said Inari, smiling. X. It had been 2 weeks since they returned to the village, and Naruto, Sasuke, Sakura were waiting for Kakashi to show up. When he did, he said, We have a finish lasting for a week. What is the mission? Asked Naruto. You will be helping out in the hospital, and they will teach you all one healing just to do to new rules by the Hokage, said Kakashi. So they headed to the hospital, and when they got there, Naruto saw Kiba, Hinata, Ino, Shikamaru, Choji, and Shino. Ino, seeing Sasuke, ran right at him saying, Oh, thank goodness you're okay. I thought Pink How might have gotten to you, but it seems fate has indeed decided we should be, though. Sasuke walked away from her as Sakura said, "What is that supposed to mean, Ino Pig?" "Just what it sounds like, Pink. After all, I am 10 times the ninja you are," said Ino. This made Sakura so mad that she rushed at Ino and landed a punch on her face before anyone could stop her. Kakashi, seeing this, ran over to stop the fight along with Asuma. But before they could stop it, Sakura had gotten some good hits on Ino while she couldn't land a blow on her. Naruto ran over to Kiba and Choji and said, "Guys, I didn't know you were doing this too." "Of course we have no choice in the matter," said Shikamaru. Sasuke soon arrived and said, "It is good to see you all again." They then talked for about 4 minutes until the person in charge of the hospital came out and said, "Follow me." They all did as he said and got a tour of the hospital. The man in charge of the hospital name was Prim, and he was a happy-going guy who had no real thought about Naruto. After the tour, Prim told them, "You will go around the hospital and help people you see that might need it." Many people Naruto tried to help told him to leave them alone because of their hate to him, so he just helped those who wanted it. On the third day, they were being taught the healing technique. Sakura was the first to master it, then Ino, and then over time, they all mastered it over the rest of the week. At the end of the week, Sakura liked helping out at the hospital she stayed and still helped out there, and in 2 months, she learned Chakra Scalpel, Wide Healing, and Mystical Palm Technique. Naruto learned Earth Release, Earth-Style Wall, Hiding in Mist Technique, and Fire Release, Great Fireball Technique. Sasuke learned Fire Release, Great Dragon Fire Technique, Fire Release, Fire Dragon Flame Bullet, and Fire Release. Phoenix Sage Flower Nail Crimson. The Chunin exams? Naruto was on his way home after a mission when he heard a scream. Naruto started running over there as fast as he could to find out what was going on. Sakura could not believe what just happened. One of those little brats had made fun of her, and she chased after them. The leader of their group, though, bumped into a strange boy who was now holding him by the neck. The boy they brought back with them from the Land of Waves said, "Let him go, or I will attack." The strange boy just smiled and said, "I would like to see you try." Inari gathered Churka to his fist and legs and rushed at him. The boy laughed and easily sidestepped and then kneed him in the chest. He said, "I didn't know you were all so weak." Sakura was starting to get scared about what they might do to the kid he had grabbed and said, "Leave them alone." The boy just said, "Nah," as he started leaking kill intent. Naruto then appeared and said, "I would do as she asked." Inari, looking up, said, "Let's go, boss is here now, you are going to pay." Naruto said, "Inari, how many times have I asked you not to call me that?" The strange boy said, "Or what?" "Well, what is your name?" asked Naruto. "My name is Kankuro, but why does that matter?" "Yeah," asked a blonde-haired girl in the tree above Kankuro. Naruto opened his mouth to ask her name, but she said, "Temari." Temari then jumped down from the tree and said, "And your name?" Naruto said, "That would of course be Naruto." Naruto then said, "This is what will happen." Naruto then made a shadow clone appear behind both of them with a kunai at their neck. Naruto said, "I would let him go, or I will have to kill you, seeing how that is the Hokage grandson." Kankuro gulped when he heard that because of course it was just his luck that he picked the one kid he could not bully. Sasuke also heard all of that noise when to see what was making it. Sasuke ran over there only to see Naruto's shadow clones holding 2 people hostages. Sasuke, appearing right next to Naruto, asked, "What did they do?" Naruto said, "They messed with Inari and his friends, one of which is Konohamaru III's grandson." "Don't mess with these kids or else you will have to answer to me and Naruto," said Sasuke. "You are an embarrassment to our village, Kankuro," said a red-haired boy who was in a tree behind Naruto and Sasuke. Kurama pulled Naruto into his subconsciousness and said, "The red-haired kid houses the One-Tails." "Are you sure?" asked Naruto. "Of course, I am sure," said Kurama as he let Naruto leave his subconscious. Naruto said, "Hello, 19 says hi." Temari and Kankuro were amazed that anyone else could house a tailed beast and be sane. Sasuke and Inari looked over at Naruto in shock because they had understood the message that this red-haired boy houses the One-Tails. Sakura and Konohamaru were confused by what Naruto had just said. The red-haired boy looked at Naruto and said, "You are like me, I sense, but different." "Yeah, buddy, but what is your name?" said Naruto, who was now on guard. "My name is Gaara, and I hope we meet again soon so you can help prove my existence," said Gaara in a terrifying voice. Gaara then sent a blast of sand at Naruto clones, killing them. Gaara then said, "It is time to go," as he started walking away with his siblings. While she was leaving, Temari asked, "Hey, black hair, what is your name?" "My name is Sasuke," said Sasuke. After they left, Sakura asked Sasuke, "What do you think they are here for?" "Isn't it obvious they are here for the Chunin exams?" said Naruto. "The what exams?" asked Sakura. "The Chunin exams, you know, what we have to take and pass before we can become Chunin," said Naruto. "Do you think Kakashi will sign us up?" asked Sasuke. "Well, we can only hope," said Naruto. "Well, this should just make Sasuke a Chunin because he will of course ace this," said Sakura. "Yeah, but that's not how it works, Sakura. Also, Naruto is stronger than me," said Sasuke. "Stop being so modest," said Sakura. Konohamaru walked up to them and said, "How did she become a ninja if she was this dumb?" Naruto could not help but laugh at that. Sakura reeled back her arm and got ready to make Konohamaru beg for his mommy. Naruto, seeing that, jumped in front of her punch and grabbed it. Naruto said, "Now that is no fun, Sakura, you should leave him alone." Konohamaru said, "Thanks, boss." Naruto turned to him and said, "How many times do I have to tell you not to call me boss?" "Don't turn your back on me, Naruto," said Sakura as she started turning red in anger. Naruto, seeing this, yelled out, "Run, Konohamaru, run." Konohamaru, hearing that, took off with Inari and Naruto running away from Sakura. Sasuke could not help but laugh at seeing the events. "X, what is taking Kakashi so long?" yelled out Sakura. "Well, I think we are about to find out," said Naruto as he points at Kakashi, who was walking over to them. "Well, what is the reason this time, Kakashi? A black cat, an old lady, or some ninja attacked you on your way here?" asked Sasuke jokingly. Kakashi said, smiling at his team, "A bit of all of them. On my way out of the house, I saw a black cat blocking an old lady's path, so I moved the cat out of the way. But then a group of ninja attacked the old lady, and I, of course, had to help her." "Has anyone ever told you that you are a bad lie?" said Naruto. "No, and I was not lying, Naruto. You are really rude," said Kakashi, smiling. "Kakashi, you told us to meet you here because you had something to show us," said Sakura. Yes, I believe you all know what the Chunin exams are," said Kakashi. "Of course," they replied. Kakashi said, "Well, if you want to go in this one, just signs this paper and head to room 361 next week," as he laid the paper down and started to walk away. "So, what do you think, Sasuke? Should we do it?" asked Naruto. "I think we should do it. I mean, you easily dealt with 2 of the people who will be in it, so it shouldn't be that hard," said Sasuke. Naruto then said, "Sakura, what about you?" "I will do it as well," she said. "Then it is decided," said Sasuke as they all signed the paper. X. Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura had just arrived at the school. Naruto said, "Well, here we go." "Yeah," agreed Sasuke as they entered. Naruto walked up the stairs and saw a door with the number 361 on it. Naruto looked at the door, then back at the stairs and thought, "But we have only gone up 2 sets of stairs." Naruto looked at Sasuke, and he nodded his head, which Naruto knew to mean he had seen though it too. Sasuke grabbed Sakura and took her over to the stairs and made her walk up them. When they got to the top, she asked, "Sasuke, why did you take me away from where we need to be?" "Because that was not where we need to be, this is though that," said Sasuke. "Oh, of course," said Sakura. A weird boy in a green jumpsuit ran up to Sakura, took one look at her, and said, "I declare my undying love for you, and I will always keep you safe, or else I am not Rock Lee." "Wait, what?" yelled out Sakura as some of the nearby people started laughing. Rock Lee then looked up and saw Sasuke. He then said, "I challenge you to a fight." Sasuke said, "Why not?" as he followed after Lee. When they got to where they were going to fight, they got into their stance as Naruto said, "Begin." Lee rushed at Sasuke at speeds faster than he could keep up with. Lee carried out a string of attacks and finished it up with a punch to the chest. Sasuke active his Sharingan, as Lee rushed at Sasuke again with a punch to his face, but this time Sasuke caught it. Sasuke, with Lee fist in his hand, knelt Lee and kicked him in the chest. As Lee tried to get Sasuke to let go of his hand, Sasuke did many attacks to him. As Lee kept on trying to get his hand free, Sasuke let go of it. Lee fell backwards from that which Sasuke used to get an opening to use his line combo. Sasuke kicked Lee higher and higher up into the air, then let him fall and finish it with a kick to Lee's chest. As Sasuke let Lee get back on his feet, Lee said, "You win," with a bright smile on his face. They then went back to door 361, where they saw that Kiba, Shino, Hinata, Choji, Ino, and Shikamaru had arrived. Naruto and Sasuke went over to where Choji, Shikamaru, Kiba, and Hinata were. Naruto said, "Choji, Shikamaru, I figured you would pass on this. Yeah, I would, but Ino is such a loudmouth, said Shikamaru. What he means by that is that she told our parents, said Choji, who did not look as bumped out as Shikamaru did. I should have known what else would have made you do it aside from your mom, said a laughing Sasuke. They continued talking and still a man who looked like he was 20 or so walked up to them. The man said, I would recommend that you stop acting so at ease because it makes you a tot of the other teams. Naruto then realized that so people had been sending kill intent their way, so he turned on his killing intent, which made many of them shive and a few to even collapse. Sasuke said, thanks for your advice, but I think we can keep ourselves safe, sir. My name is Kabuto, and I was just trying to help you new people. After all, this is my 7th time talking it. So I know stuff, said Kabuto. You said you would help us, but how? Asked Choji. Well, I have these things that I make called ninja info cards, and they have a list of missions in their skill set, said Kabuto. All right, I will give it a try. Let's go with Gaara of the Sand, said Naruto. You make it no fun when you know his name. But he has done 12 C-rank missions, 5 B-rank missions, and 3 A-ranks missions, said Kabuto, reading it off of a card. Naruto had just gotten his fears confined that this man was indeed a spy. But at that moment a boy from the sound walked up and said, what about me? Kabuto pulled out a new card and said, Dosu of the village hidden in the sound. He uses sound waves in battle. He has gone on 15 D-rank missions, 7 C-rank missions, and 1 B-rank mission. All in all, he is not that strong. Dosa said, I will show you how strong I am, as he began to aim his attack. Naruto, seeing this, did some hand seals and said, Wind Release, Gale Palm, which launched Dosu attack, off course making it hit the wall. Naruto said, don't try to harm a member of my village in front of me again, or I will kill you. Ibiki then opened the door and said, no more fighting, or you are kicked out of the exam. My name is Ibiki Marino. I am the proctor of the first stage. Now get in the classroom and grab a seat, or leave. They all did as they were told, and Ibiki then said, now here are the rules. Chunin exams first stage. Now then, this stage is a written exam to see how smart you are. There are 10 questions. The first 9 are going to be given to you, and after all the time is up, I will tell you the 10th question. Every time you are caught cheating, we will knock off a point, and once all 10 points are knocked off, you will be taken out of the exam, and you will have failed. Any question? Said Akibi. Many people raised their hands, but Ibiki just said, good, you have an hour. Sakura, seeing the paper, could not believe how hard it was. There could only be a few people in this room who could answer them. Sakura started to do the test as she saw that many people could not do it. Kiba looked down at the paper and his first thought was, what the hell, how are we supposed to know this? But he then looked down at Akamaru and came up with an idea. He told Akamaru to get on top of his head and tell him what other people wrote down for their answers. Akamaru happily jumped on Kiba's head and began doing his task. Hinata looked at the test in front of her and got to work at answering the question. Hinata saw many people try to cheat off of her paper, but they were all caught. Trenton, the teammate of Rock Lee, seeing that she could not answer any of the questions, set up a ton of mirrors which she could use to look at someone's answer and send them to her teammate without getting caught. Rock Lee looked up and saw the mirror set up, began copying down the answers. Niji, the other teammate of Rock Lee, seeing the mirror set up, also began copying down the answers. Shikamaru, seeing that he could not answer any of the questions, decided to go to sleep. Choji, seeing that he also could not answer any of the questions, decided to start eating the bags of chips he bought with him. Not knowing the answer to any of the questions, did not know what to do. But she then saw how fast Sakura was going through the test, which made her smile. Then used the mind-body change technique on Sakura. And the body of Sakura looked down at the test that was done and began to copy it down in her mind. After she finished doing that, Ino released Sakura and began writing down the answers. She then used the mind-body change technique on Choji to write down the answers on his test, and then she did it to Shikamaru as well. Sasuke could not answer any of the questions on the test. But seeing that many people were writing down answers, he used his Sharingan to copy what they wrote down without getting caught. Naruto could only answer the first 2 questions before he did not know the answer. Naruto thought about what Akibi said earlier about the point cheat thing. He found it weird that you could cheat up to 10 times, but that is when he realizes it. Naruto came up with a plan. Naruto waited until 5 people, of which Kankuro was among, went to the bathroom. Naruto asked if he could go to the bathroom, and they let him go with a guard to make cheating harder. When Naruto entered the bathroom, he made 15 shadow clones. Naruto had 5 of them use the transformation jutsu to turn into the people who enter the bathroom. He then made the other 10 clones deal with the people who were already there and keep them from going back to the testing room. Naruto had his 5 clones that transformation leave and head back to the test room. Naruto clones took their seats at where who they were pretending to be would sit. 2 of them had finished their test, one of which was Kankuro, the other one Naruto did not know. But the clone who was pretending to be Kankuro then began the second stage of Naruto plan. Ikibi was watching them take the test and had noticed many different forms of cheating people were using. He saw what Sasuke was doing, Ino, and Tenten, but they were doing very well, he had to admit. But he heard someone shout out, "This test is so easy, I can't believe this is the first stage of the Chunin exams." Ikibi went over to see who had said that and said, "If so, you won't mind me taking a look at your test?" "Of course, you can look at it for however long you like," said Kankuro, who Ikibi just realized was the one saying it. Ikibi walked over and took a look at the paper and saw that all of the answers were correct. Kankuro whispered into his ear, "Kabuto is a spy." Ikibi was surprised, but his long time as a ninja kept him from reacting, and he whispered, "How do I know I can trust you?" Kankuro whispered, "Naruto Uzumaki House the 9 Tails, that should be enough info to let you know you can trust me." Ikibi turned and walked away smiling to himself. He knew that only people the Hokage trust or Naruto does could know that fact at that age. So he knew that he could trust that statement. Tamari could not believe how dumb her brother was when he yelled that out. All of Naruto clones suddenly asked to go to the bathroom, which they were allowed to. When they reached the bathroom, they all went to find the real Naruto. When they found him, the 2 of the clones who knew the answers told him them. The clone, as Kankuro said, "I have delivered the info to Ikibi." "Good, now dispel," said the real Naruto. All of his clones then dispel. The real people Naruto had his clones pretend to be then left the bathroom. Naruto then left the bathroom and came back and then answered all of the questions on the test. Naruto had done all of that in 2 minutes. Naruto then waited for the 10th and final question. When the hour was up, Ikibi said, "All right, put your pens down. Now here are the rules of the 10th and final question. You can leave right now, but if you stay and fail, you can never take the Chunin exams again." "What, you're not allowed to do that," said someone. Ibiki used his killing intent on him and said, "I am in charge, so I make the rules, so leave if you're too scared to do it. You will have 10 minutes to leave or stay." After the first 5 minutes, 30 people had left the room. Ibiki had a huge smirk on his face looking at it, and he said, "Well, it appears that you are all weak-minded, doesn't it?" That made Naruto really mad, and he roared out, "Oh, wipe that goddamn smirk off your face. I will not leave this room until the end of the first stage. Rank does not matter. It does not show your strength, and I will become Hokage even if I am a genin forever." Ibiki smiled to himself and thought, "I think I know who that Kankuro was." Ibiki said, "Well, we will see, won't we?" But after the next 5 minutes passed, no one left, boosted by what Naruto said. Ibiki said after the rest of the time passed, "You have all passed." "Say what?" yelled out Tamari. "It is quite simple, really. The point of this is to force us to apply critical thinking. Try to gather the answers from someone else, such as the few of us who know the answers, or if I had to guess, more likely the Chunin, who are also here for us to cheat off of. And we have passed because the real reason of the 10th question is to see if we are willing to risk everything for our village by going on a damages mission that is very important. Isn't that right, Ibiki?" said Naruto, looking up at him. Everyone in the room other than Ibiki was shocked at what Naruto just said. Ibiki just laughed and said, "Kid, you hit the head-on nail. Ye, that is right. Could the 5 Chunin hidden among you step forward?" 5 people stepped forth and did a bow. When at that time a wrecking ball came though one of the walls with a woman who jumped off of it and said, smiling, "I am Anko Mitarashi. I am the proctor the 2nd stage, and I will be the cause of your death."